Hey guys, I know it's been a while since I've done anything with the channel, but I figured I'd give you a little bit of an update of what has been taking up the majority of my time. A couple of years back, I really got into trying out my hand on gardening. And this bed right here is the first bed that I put together to start testing out if it's even something I'm willing to do. I actually had a lot of fun doing it with the build and with putting everything together. Last year we had, as you can see, our spinach right here. That spinach has been growing all year round and it needs to come out and be completely redone. I had some watermelon, some snow peas, lettuce, spinach. Carrots got taken out by the dog, which was the reason why of the homemade gate right there to keep the dog out from this area. We also did some seed planted green onions, radishes, and that was it. And it was really just a test to see if it was something I was interested in even doing. And to tell you the truth, I actually really enjoyed the process of having a garden to tend to on a daily basis. It was something to keep my mind active, and it was a new skill for me to work on. So this year, I've taken it up a couple of notches. So here's the first notch that I took it up on. This is a homemade greenhouse cabinet, and as of right now I've got roughly about 30 different plants and a variety of what I've gotten started. From off to the left over here, I've got some watermelon and cilantro. I've got some sweet corn, some cabbage, green onions. Right there on the top, right there is some jalapenos. Here I've got some more cucumbers, some snow peas, tomato plants, more jalapenos right here, and it's really something that I've expanded on so that way I can grow on more knowledge. And I know that I've talked about knowledge a lot in the past, and knowledge is a huge thing for me. I like to challenge my own intellect and figure if it's some things that I enjoy doing. Down here I've got some sweet peppers off to the right, some sage, some more tomato plants. Over here I've got some broccoli and some sage. And in the last section, I've got the majority of my herbs. So over here on the right on this shelf, I've got more, I want to say broccoli, some watermelon over there, and then it goes into the herbs, which is some rosemary, oregano, thyme, basil, and I've got some more herbs up in this section up here. And this is only one step of how I've increased in my knowledge on gardening. Roughly about a year or so ago, I got into a new science and a new concept. The new concept is aquaponics, and here is my aquaponics setup. This right here is going to be a new phase of it that will come later on. So the aquaponics setup is now fully functioning. I've got my fish tank here, which you can see, after cleaning the rock and everything in it, the water still got a little cloudy, so I have to get a kind of like a pool filter or something and see if I can get the majority of the cloudiness out of here. It really sucked to waste all this water that I've already put into it. But it starts off in the process of here at the fish tank. I've got a stem pipe here, and at the base of that stem pipe I've got a couple notches cut out on it. So that way, with the way that the water flows, as the water is being added into the tank here, the water at the base of the tank at the bottom is being sucked up through the stem pipe. Through the stem pipe comes down into a radial flow filter. This radial flow filter is pretty cool. This is where the solids get separated from the water. On the inside right here, I've got a notch cut at the tip of that cap. What that's going to do is it's going to direct the flow of water into a vortex, into a circle. And then all the solids will fall at the base right down there. I don't know if you can see it, but a lot of the heavier solids is already collecting at the bottom. From there, it goes into a biofilter. This process right here is actually pretty cool. So at the base of down here, I've got a 3-inch air stone. And this water tank is filled with these little biomediums. Basically, the bacteria goes onto these little surfaces of this little medium. It converts the ammonia from the fish waste into a nitrate, which into the bed converts it into a nitrite, which is what fertilizes the plants. And from the biofilter here, it runs all the way down this pipeline into the 2 medium beds. These beds right here will actually house the plants of it itself. And the concept behind this right here will allow you to grow 3 times the amount of vegetation in this very small bed as opposed to garden in soil. Gardening in soil, the plants have to compete for the water and the nutrients, and they have to have a certain amount of surface area. In here, with the way that these beds are set up, they don't have to compete for the nutrients, and it's a very nutrient-rich water source, so it does allow the vegetables to grow bigger and faster. These beds are set up on a fill and drain system. So what you see right here is a bell siphon. What this does is there's a stem pipe in the center, and it's got the siphon right here. So inside right here is another piping it's a 1-inch pipe with a 2-inch to 1-inch reducer. Makes the top of it much wider. As the water level fills up on it, it allows that water to flow over that stem pipe down through here, down into the plumbing at the base right down here. What that does is it initiates a water siphoning effect, and it will draw all the water out from this tank. If you can see the darker line right here, this is where the water is about right here. It will draw all of that water out from the maximum level line all the way down to the minimum level line, which is roughly about 1 inch from the base of the tank. And what that will do is allow the water to raise and drain and raise and drain. And essentially it's on a 2 cycle per hour right now with the water flow that it's out. So from the garden beds here, you saw the pipe down here, comes all the way down into the sump tank right here. Right now, that first bed is on a draining cycle, so the water is being flowed out. And here within a minute or so, it should be able to reach the minimum depth line. It will break that siphoning effect with the bottom of that siphon has a couple notches knocked out of it. So it will allow air to pass and break the siphon. So then the water will completely stop draining here in just a moment. Now, as you can see, the bottom pipe just started the draining cycle on tank number 2, and the top pipe is starting to reduce its siphon. As you can see, that first one is just about ready to completely break the siphon, which is going to allow the water to continue to drain back up in that first grow bed. And done. Now that that siphon has broken, it's now going to allow that first bed to fill, which will allow that nutrient-rich water to go back up into the plants. That water rising and falling like that is really cool because it allows that nutrient-rich water to raise up into the roots of the plant, and then it allows it to drain out to produce oxygen back into the roots of the plant. With the medium that I chose, it's kind of a test on that, because this right here is, half of it is pumice rock, which is going to hold on to more of that moisture content, and the other half is 3/8 size river rock, which is going to be more stable. So I'm hoping that this right here is actually going to work out pretty good. It's a new concept, so I'm working it out. And then from the base of the sump tank here, there's a water pump that pumps the water from in the sump tank all the way back up and fills up the fish tank itself. So it's on a complete enclosed ecosystem, constantly cycling between the fish tank to the grow beds to the sump tank back up into the fish tank. So this is what I've been basically focusing on in my spare time, trying to increase in knowledge and increase in experience. And I'll be posting regular updates based on my journey with this aquaponics system. This right here is the next step of this system after I get the fish into the fish tank and allow them to grow for a while. So let me know what you think here. Have you ever been curious about setting up an aquaponics system in your own backyard? As you can see, my backyard is actually reasonably small, and I'm trying to maximize as much vegetation growth as I can get in this small backyard. Give me a thumbs up if you like it. This whole concept of this system build right here is my own personal way of showing you that I constantly challenge my own opinion on things. Remember, only by challenging your own opinion on things can you grow as an individual. Knowledge is power, and here we're empowering everyone. Thank you guys. I love you. God bless you, and have a good day.